You know, it is really strange. The Nintendo Switch 2 just released. We still haven't gotten that Nintendo Direct. We didn't get it in June, which Nintendo usually holds a June Nintendo Direct. And we still haven't gotten it in July. Are we really gonna have to wait until September for a September Nintendo Direct? Let me know your guys' thoughts on that, because I think we might have to. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwave or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. In this video, we are going to talk about Nintendo's plan for the next Nintendo Direct based off what's happening right now, why we haven't got a Nintendo Direct, and if there were any signs that pointed towards not having a Nintendo Direct, which we did cover in one of the videos the day before yesterday, at the time of this recording anyways. We will talk about when we could possibly see Nintendo's next Nintendo Direct, because I think a lot of people are waiting for that Nintendo Direct to reveal more Nintendo Switch 2 games since they just bought the Nintendo Switch 2. And of course some possible reasons on why exactly Nintendo's waiting so long, you know? If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, it helps the video reach more viewers when you do, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is RoboRob93. Without further delay, let's get on to the topics. So when it comes to the Nintendo Directs, I think right now a lot of people are really excited for that next Nintendo Direct, specifically because the Nintendo Switch 2 just came out, and a lot of people are wondering, well, what is Nintendo gonna show? What crazy things are they gonna come up with? If you guys remember, during the Nintendo Switch 1's lifetime, especially like around the middle of it, we got a lot of crazy games. Even in the beginning, we got Super Mario Odyssey, you know, Breath of the Wild. And those were some crazy times. Announcements like that, like the stealth drop of the Metroid Prime 4 Metroid Prime 1 remaster. The Super Mario RPG, you know, Pikmin 4. Announcements like that get us really excited, and now that the Nintendo Switch 2 is out and it's basically another generation of Nintendo, we're thinking, well, what is going to be the version of that but for the Nintendo Switch 2? And that's what gets a lot of people excited for the next Nintendo Direct. So the fact that we didn't really get a Nintendo Direct despite the rumors that were going around is really disappointing. So when could we get the next Nintendo Direct? When does it make a lot of sense? And why hasn't Nintendo done a Nintendo Direct? Well, let's start with why we haven't got a Nintendo Direct, or what could possibly be the reason, I should say, because of course we don't know officially. Well, plenty of you guys in the comment section have pointed out that maybe Nintendo wants to wait for Donkey Kong Bonanza to come out first. The fact that Donkey Kong hasn't gotten a big game like this, a 3D game, since Donkey Kong 64 is probably a big deal for Nintendo, especially since we now know that the Super Mario Odyssey team is actually making Donkey Kong Bonanza. So maybe Nintendo really wants this to be a big hit, and that's why we're waiting so long for the next Nintendo Direct. They want people's eyes on this next big Nintendo Switch game. Another reason could be we're getting a Nintendo Direct still in July, but it's going to be coming like next week, or maybe the third week, or the fourth week. Now I do have to say, on that point of a Nintendo Direct still happening in July, Pokemon Presents is in July, and also Donkey Kong Bonanza is also in July. So Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out on the 17th, and the Pokemon Presents is also on the 22nd. So based off that information, and especially since we didn't get that Nintendo Direct this week or in June, I don't think we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct next week. I equally don't think we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct the week of the Pokemon Presents. I think the only week that's even possible for a Nintendo Direct is the last week of July. Now, the last day on July that a Nintendo Direct will likely drop is probably a Wednesday, the announcement anyways. The actual Nintendo Direct might be the last day of July, which is the 30th, and I think that's the last point that we're gonna get a Nintendo Direct. I don't think it's gonna be any time other than that. I hope that ages like rancid milk, because I really do want a Nintendo Direct, you know? I think a lot of us do. But I think that's when we're gonna get a Nintendo Direct, if it is gonna be this month. Now, if it's not in July, well then when is it gonna be? Well, the next spot would probably be September. I'm sure you're probably gonna see insiders saying, hey, there's gonna be an August Nintendo Direct, but like, it's at this point where I'm like, yeah, but you've been saying that for 2 months and now you're just picking random months, right? Now, I do struggle to say that we shouldn't listen to Nintendo insiders, because there is one specific insider that I've been following pretty closely when it comes to the Nintendo Direct rumors and leaks, especially when he says specific things. That insider is Nate the Hate, and if you guys remember, I did a video that said no July Nintendo Direct, and this was the day before, according to Nash Weedle over on Twitter, that we were supposed to get a Nintendo Direct this week. Of course, not everyone's information is going to be correct. Even the people who do end up getting things right, sometimes they do get things wrong, right? But when it comes to Nate the Hate, it seems like he has some really solid information, and he came out and basically said that he hasn't heard anything on a Nintendo Direct this week. Now, the reason why I always pay attention whenever he specifically says things like this is because every single time, at least the past 3 times, and this being the 3rd time, whenever he has come out and said that I haven't heard anything on a Nintendo Direct, we usually don't end up getting that Nintendo Direct. This happened with the February Nintendo Direct, this happened with this recent Nintendo Direct supposedly from Nash Weedle, and it also happened with the Nintendo Direct that was supposedly coming when the June Nintendo Direct was supposed to happen during that week of the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. So not only has he had correct information on past Nintendo Directs, which I think he also did leak out the June Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, if I recall correctly. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong on that. But he has also leaked past information in different games and Nintendo Directs and events, and not just from Nintendo, but also Xbox and Sony. So that's why I made that video, just in case this does happen, because it kind of made me wonder, well, it happened these past 2 times, is this going to happen again? And it happened again. Of course, there were some people who were kind of angry that I was making that video for some weird reason. I have no idea why. But I wanted to make that video so that the people watching that video definitely kept their expectations maybe a little bit lower than they were going into today. And we don't have a Nintendo Direct, and hopefully it helped out. So this does make a lot of us wonder, well, what about Metroid Prime 4, right? Because that's a 2025 game. We still need a release date for that game. Well, here's what Nintendo could possibly be doing. There are a couple things that they could be doing with this. Again, like I always say in my videos, there's options that Nintendo has that they have been using for a while now. Twitter drops, random trailer drops, Nintendo Directs for their own games. Nintendo likes to keep up the excitement around the Nintendo Switch 2, so I don't think we're not going to get a Nintendo Direct until like after 2025. That would be absolutely insane. I have a feeling that there are a couple places where we could see this. A September Nintendo Direct that shows off third-party games and first-party games and all that kind of stuff. That's also an option. And if you guys remember, my initial prediction for a Nintendo Direct was a September Nintendo Direct. And the reason behind my thinking on a September Nintendo Direct is because Nintendo already had a lot of games set up and a lot of marketing points throughout the rest of 2025. We have Donkey Kong Bonanza, of course we had the Mario Kart World game releasing, we had a whole bunch of third-party games, we still have Metroid Prime 4, we have now Splatoon Raiders, we have other games from the Pokemon Presents. And as we've seen with Splatoon Raiders, Nintendo is full on ready to reveal different Nintendo Switch games on Twitter if they need to. So if they do need a game that's placed between September and now, they could easily announce it on Twitter. So I think the September Nintendo Direct will probably likely be the place we're getting a Nintendo Direct, which that's kind of wild. Like skipping the June Nintendo Direct and then not having a Nintendo Direct until September, at least for now anyways. I hope we do get a Nintendo Direct sooner, but it's really looking like a September Nintendo Direct. If they end up dropping it in August, that's going to be wild, even more wild than what I said before, because Nintendo just never does that. So that's going to be interesting to see. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And if not on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.